Hey everyone, ZeroJD here with the XBLA Fans Channel. I'll give you a quick taste of DragonFangZ, a turn-based roguelike game. In the sense of turn-based is like when you move, the enemies move. When you attack, they get to move closer. You attack, they attack. You attack, they attack, so on and so forth. You use an item, and so on and so forth, and that's how time passes via steps and all that kind of stuff like that. This game has a lot of really neat ideas that I really like. However, they are kind of very outweighed by some extremely poor design choices and some just weirdness that's crippling the game. I'm actually going to start with the positive first. I actually really like how this game looks. I like the characters. They are cutesy. I also like how the weapons and shields are handled. They actually look different, and they actually show different when you equip them on your character kind of stuff. They also have this very interesting Fang system, which are essentially like the little tablets that enemies have a chance to drop. They have active and passive effects, one being like, hey, this active effect, when you cast it, heals 10 HP, or this passive, and then this passive effect will be like, you have an extra 5 health points, which is really neat. And on top of that, they have something called the Brave system that, it's hard to kind of show it here, but you see the 8 squares outside of rows here. As long as you are attacking an enemy in that area, you are actually building up the charges for your attacks. So you are actually kind of incentivized to bring enemies to you in this open area and fight them, kind of risking being kind of surrounded, but you are charging up your abilities. If you are in this state, you are actually getting a 10% crit chance. You're getting the ability to use special abilities on weapons. There's a little heart system that once you get to, like, let's say this weapon, like once you have 2 hearts, it actually does a swipe that attacks 3 squares, and it's a really cool kind of risk-reward idea. Like I said before, you might get surrounded, but you're getting these buffs and charging your abilities and all this kind of stuff like that. However, the issue with this is a lot of these mechanics and stuff are not explained to you until you are 5, 6, 7 floors down and well into, like, this is confusing, I don't know why this is doing this, and or stuff like that. And that wouldn't be as bad as, because they kind of explain the systems early on. However, the game is so poorly translated that it is incredibly confusing. They actually explained the Brave system semi early on, but it made it sound like that you couldn't have any obstacles in 8 squares in every direction. So 8 to the right, 8 to the left, 8 up, 8 down, all that kind of stuff, when it's actually just the squares around you. And about floor 6, they actually showed pictures fully explaining it and even listing the benefits you get, and it made so much more sense that way. So actually, here's an example of the kind of English. Also, B is the button that is confirm. So it's like, this doesn't seem like too bad here, but when it's used, the dialogue is used in a way to explain stuff to you in a kind of passive manner, it's very confusing, and you can't even tell that they're explaining something. And it also makes it near impossible to kind of figure out people's motivations or why they're saying something. But back to the good. This game has a plot that I absolutely adore. The plot is, you rose here, we're going through like a dungeon or like a cave or something. You fall through a hole, you get stuck, and you get up to this tree, and this dude here says, there's a way out, but you have to go down and get the treasure. So your essential entire goal is, go home, I want to go home, and I think that is amazing. So as like I said before, this is a roguelike kind of game where if you die, you lose all your experience points, all your levels, all your money, all your items, unless you find a very rare chest, which you can then send your items back to your, like, this area that's right over here, like a little warehouse kind of thing here. And they're kind of like stored here. The only issue with that is, I feel it's kind of pointless, because if you then take that item that you were saving and then you die anyways, there's no assurance you're going to get another one of those chests to set it back here, because it's very RNG heavy. Also, just for like, stay as it is like I said, the very confusing translations and stuff like that makes it very frustrating at times. And like I said before, the roguelike part of it wouldn't be as frustrating as if something was consistently staying over and helping you, like, achieve your goal. Because I've gotten to a boss sort of area multiple times where I've been pretty powerful, but I've been dropped into a boss area that also has 10 other enemies who attack me all at once along with the boss, who I can't do any damage to. So I feel like everything I continually am doing is pointless. And you might ask, why don't you just grind and get stronger? That's actually something they kind of discourage, and I'll actually show that there. But I'm going to explain this first. This is essentially a kind of a challenge room. It just shows like basic stuff you can do. Like stage 1 is essentially, hey, get to this other area. It's actually a really good example. See this glowy circle here? That's actually the area that you want to kind of stay in, or keep. Like if I'm over near this wall right here, that doesn't show up. But if I'm here, that as long as that area is clear, I'm getting the like that little buff. And then see, and then you just go, and that's it. And they get confetti and all that kind of fun stuff. It's actually a pretty good idea where it's kind of explaining stuff, but actually that menu that popped up, that menu means nothing. It didn't actually let me click anything. It always comes back here no matter what you press. So you hit Y to go to the menus. A takes you out of the menus. X does nothing, and then B is actually confirmed, which is kind of crazy. At the end of your run, they actually give you a score, which is kind of pointless and kind of annoying, showing that you've kind of lost everything. All right, upper left. This is a countdown timer that you're allowed to stay on each level. If you run to 0, you start to lose health, and if you go down a level, you actually get 150 steps back. That actually counts down if you take a step, or if you attack, or if you wait. So, as you can see, I can actually change my direction I'm looking, and then if I hit B, I attack. And this is the game. And you're kind of going through collecting goodies and stuff like that. Some of the items are unidentified, which is pretty neat, so you never know what they're going to actually do. And like I said before, there's a lot of like really fun, cool little ideas that happen in here. It's just that a lot of the stuff just makes it not worth it. That's actually perfect. Here's a fang. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm actually going to look at it. So the skill attached to it is healing 1, recovers 50 HP. The soul is an actual, it will give me an additional 5 extra health points, which shows up there at the top. I've gotten ones that actually give me bow shots back. I have ones that give me extra dragon time up there. That is actually what it's called. So I got a weapons craftsman's book, which if I use it on while equipped with a weapon, it will allow me to level up that weapon. And like I said before, I've gotten some powerful weapons, gotten decently high level, and it just did not matter at all. And it just was so frustrating. And I don't really want to go and grind at each level to like the bare minimum time and maybe take damage. So as you can see here, I'm not getting any of the buffs here, but if I make it over to this square here, keep an eye on the little slime on the right side. If I punch now, it goes down. And see, I maneuvered myself to that point, and that was I did take damage, but I'm charging my skills and I'm getting little extra buffs. You can see there the brave hearts there. Some weapons, let's say if you get 2 of those hearts, instead of striking only the square in front of me, it strikes just 3 squares in front of me, which I think is an awesome little subsystem. You can actually get more hearts and stuff like that. So and not only can you equip these little fangs, you can actually offer them. So I can actually increase my max HP. And there you go, which is another really cool idea. So it actually, like, if you get repeats of stuff, it's not trash. Some of them will recover like 150 dragon time and stuff like that. So it does have a lot of really cool ideas. They're just so, this game is so crippled by the poor explanations, translation, and then the just unfair roguelike elements. Like, it could be so much easier if, like, maybe you could at least save 1 item continually or something like that. Like, because I got a great sword that was continually leveling up, and that would make it a much easier pill to swallow when I actually die. So when you die, you lose everything. Unless, like I said before, you find a chest, and I've done maybe 7 or 8 runs of this, and I can fairly reliably get up to right before the boss or at the boss, and then I just die. Oop. I accidentally got rid of the map. There's nothing else in this floor, so we're gonna head to the next one. But it's like, I really like the Fang system. The brave idea is really cool. And of course there's merchants and like all these other kind of people that you meet. But again, whenever you talk to someone, the translation is so bad, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Or it's like the bare minimum sense, but it's confusing. All right, so here's a chest here. Don't know what it does. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna equip this shield, actually. So it's a tree shield. So we have an unknown item. You do get the ability to, you do get some items that can identify other stuff. So let's just put this book in here. And it changed it or something? I don't know how to take stuff out, but that's weird. It transformed it into an unknown shield. How do I? Oh, I threw it. That's okay. There we go. That's neat. All right, cool. It's actually a better shield. Oh, and there's a weapon. Perfect. I actually got a really cool weapon one time, and it was a crazy katana kind of thing. There's also like one of these enemies is a golem, and if you kill him, he drops a core, and then this little eyeball appears, and they seek out other enemies and actually powers them up, which is kind of neat. So you have to run it, kind of rush it, and murder them. Enemies respawn on levels, and like I said before, that like grinding could be a good idea, but you are highly discouraged because the moment that thing hits 0, you're losing a health per step. So if you are too many steps away from the stairs, you are just gone. Wham. So if I wanted to, I could use my skill. And then it'll reset. But like I said, there's so many cool ideas in here that I just, like, the biggest turnoff is just, like, you make the progress, you get to that, I've gotten to that boss probably 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't matter what I have done. Because there's just so many enemies, and I do so little damage. I even used a scroll that did, like, 100 damage, and it did not even take, like, a 10th of its health off, or an 1/8 of its health off, something like that. But it was a very, like, I would need at least 10 or 12 of those scrolls to actually be able to win. Got another club, and off we go again. So let's actually show you exactly what happens when you die. And there are items that reveal the map and all that kind of fun stuff like that. There are potions and stuff like that where you can actually, well, that will actually, you can actually like throw at enemies. Do I actually have one? Can I actually? Here, we're gonna. Oop, sorry, hold on. I keep forgetting, I keep hitting A, which is weird. Throw. Come on. Holding A and B together will just speed up time. Come on, guys. Alright, so you die, and it just says game over. And if without touching anything, it'll actually, it'll just list all this stuff and all that kind of stuff. If I hit X here, after that, it doesn't let you tap anything else. Like that menu that appeared again means absolutely nothing. And I'm back here, and I have absolutely nothing again. And it feels like it. I understand that they might be trying to have a difficult game, but it's severely hampering the fun factor where, hey, I'll be doing so well, and then I get to this part where it's super unfair, and I die because it's literally 10 enemies attacking me at once, and I have no way to actually get away from them because they literally spawn all around you. I've only survived long in one of them because one of them actually used a spell that knocked me across the map. And then I had a bunch of potions that let me randomly teleport around. So I was able to kill like 7 or 8 of them. But then finally, I just couldn't keep out of the boss's range. And the boss killed me in like 3 hits. So it didn't even feel like grinding would have done too much. It feels way, way, way too much based on the items that will drop for you and stuff like that. And even with my overpowered weapon, it was eh. But the levels are randomly generated and all that kind of stuff. Like, who knows? This could be like a super powerful sword. Let's equip it. Yeah, this is actually the sword I got when I got super far in the game. Crazy sword. And I actually got a whole bunch of the weapon upgrade books and just mowed down dudes. I actually, for a few levels, nothing could actually get a hit off on me because I would just one-shot it or something like that. Level up potion. There is voice acting, but it's only in certain parts. And even then, the translation for the English dialogue is But this is DragonFangZ. I am ZeroJD. This is the XBLA fan channel. I would have to suggest, even if you are a very person who enjoys roguelike games, that there are other games and turn-based games that are out there that are less frustrating. The biggest issue is just the translation stuff, making it very confusing and annoying early on. The tutorials being given to you in game very like 6 or 7 floors in, way beyond when you'd be able to like need them. Like, see how this one says like this little 2 hearts right here? If I have 2 of those hearts, the crit rate goes up by 30%. On top of that 10%, which I already have from having nothing around me. So that's a 40% crit rate right there, which again, I think is a great idea. Really cool kind of thing. It's just the other crippling parts of it are just not fun at all. Let's actually lure this guy over here and there you go. Oh yeah, 28 damage. But like I said before, I am ZeroJD. This is the XBLA fan channel. This is DragonFangZ. It's weirdly got really good ideas, but it's crippled severely in other areas of it. You might be able to get past that and find a way to grind and all that kind of stuff, but it's not pleasant as far as I have played. Thank you for watching. If you have a comment, leave it down below. I'll try to get back to you. Subscribe. It helps us out so much. Hit us up on Twitter too. And thank you and have a nice night.